Maki returns to the Zenin household to collect cursed tools needed for the culling game, where she is immediately confronted by Naoya. He mocks her facial injuries, claiming they will never heal, and cruelly suggests that her appearance was the only thing she ever had. Naoya insults her further by pointing out that she cannot use cursed techniques or see cursed spirits, and now that her face is scarred, he believes she has lost all value. He even asks if he should resume bullying her as he did in the past, and sneers that she is now nothing more than a lapdog following Megumi and Yuta. Maki refuses to engage, ignores him entirely, and proceeds underground. She descends a stone staircase into an underground tunnel that leads toward the reinforced corridor near the cursed warehouse. There, she is stopped by her mother, who warns her that entry into the warehouse is forbidden. Maki shows her the keys and explains that she has official permission from the new head of the Zenin clan. This leads into a flashback explaining how Megumi became clan head. Maki was the one who revealed to Megumi that Naobito's will named him as the successor to the Zenin clan. Megumi initially wanted to refuse, seeing the responsibility as a burden, but Maki pushed him to accept. She explained that the position came with the entire Zenin fortune, access to cursed tools, and insider knowledge about the three great families and jujutsu headquarters, resources that would drastically change how they operate moving forward. Despite this, Megumi suggested stepping down so Maki could take over instead. Maki rejected the idea, knowing the clan would never accept or follow her in her current state. She reminded him that he had inherited the family's curse technique, mastered a domain expansion, and was favored by Gojo, all reasons that made him more than qualified. Megumi still strongly resisted becoming the Zenin clan head and questioned whether acceptance truly mattered if Maki were to take the position instead. After all, she would gain all the benefits she had listed simply by becoming clan head. However, Maki rejected the idea. She admitted that she did not believe she was good enough, not because of power or status, but because she could not create a place where her sister Mai would truly feel she belonged. The moment Maki mentioned Mai, Megumi finally understood her reasoning. Back in the present, as Maki passes by her mother, she is suddenly screamed at and ordered to stop. Her mother angrily questions why Maki is always so defiant and bitterly demands that Maki make her proud for once, emphasizing that she was the one who gave birth to her. Ignoring her words, Maki proceeds to the sealed doors of the cursed warehouse. Using the key, she unlocks them, causing all the chains binding the massive doors to fall away and granting her entry. Inside, Maki is horrified to find her father, Ogi Zenin, waiting for her, without a single cursed tool in sight. Ogi reveals that he anticipated her arrival and deliberately removed all the cursed tools beforehand. As he stands, he exposes the injured body of Mai behind him. Mai has been viciously sliced across the abdomen and is bleeding heavily. Despite her condition, Mai bitterly calls Maki an idiot for coming, while Maki cries out her sister's name in shock and fear. Meanwhile, Junichi meets with Naoya to explain the situation. Naoya criticizes Junichi for not informing him earlier, but Junichi responds that Naoya's reckless nature is exactly why Megumi Fushiguro was chosen as clan head instead. He explains that many elders support Megumi as a way to repair relations with the Gojo clan. However, they are unwilling to accept leaving the entire Zenin fortune to him alone. When Naoya questions why they are hesitating, Junichi explains that Megumi has also been building strong ties with Noritoshi Kamo, the next leader of the Kamo clan. Removing Megumi without justification would severely damage the Zenin clan's standing, especially during the ongoing power shift following Satoru Gojo's sealing. Falling behind now would be disastrous. Naoya insists he understands this, but asks why action is being taken now. Junichi responds by asking if he ignored the official notice from Jujutsu headquarters. Satoru Gojo has been declared an accomplice in the Shibuya incident and permanently exiled from the Jujutsu world. Furthermore, unsealing him is now considered a criminal act. This gives the Zenin clan the perfect excuse. Their plan is to execute Megumi Fushiguro, Maki, and Mai as rebels plotting to free Satoru Gojo. Naoya laughs, finding amusement in the idea that killing one's own daughter would boost his credibility. He notes that it would also increase Jujutsu headquarters' trust in him, though he wonders whether Uncle Ogi is truly fine with this outcome. As Ogi faces Maki, taking up his swordsmanship stance, Junichi reveals to Naoya that this entire plan originated with Ogi himself. Ogi activates his secret art, Falling Blossom Emotion, a domain countermeasure. When used in a sword duel, this technique coats the user in cursed energy that automatically strikes anything it comes into contact with. Mai was intentionally left alive as a bargaining chip and as insurance against any unknown cursed tools Maki might possess. Fully aware of every contingency, Ogi prepares to end everything with a single, decisive strike. As the confrontation begins, Maki reveals that she is wielding Dragon Bone, the cursed tool crafted by Juzo Kumaya. The weapon stores physical force and cursed energy, then releases it from the back of the blade according to the user's will. Knowing Ogi is unfamiliar with its abilities, Maki plans to deceive him by pretending to engage in a traditional single-strike duel, while secretly intending to follow up with additional attacks. Just before the clash, Ogi asks Maki if she knows why the former clan head was his older brother, Naobito, rather than him. Maki coldly replies that it must be because he is a terrible person willing to kill his own children. That answer triggers the fight. Ogi draws his sword as Maki flips Dragon Bone into a reverse grip. She successfully blocks his first slash and immediately counterattacks, using the burst of cursed energy from Dragon Bone to amplify her momentum. Ogi attempts to parry, but his katana shatters, seemingly leaving him defenseless. Maki slips behind him and moves in for what she believes will be the finishing blow. However, Ogi reacts with astonishing speed. Before the broken blade even hits the ground, he spins around and counters using his cursed technique, manifesting flames in place of his sword. The fiery slash cuts Maki down instantly. Her already damaged eye is struck again, shattering her glasses, and her lower abdomen is sliced open. Severely wounded, Maki collapses, unable to understand what happened until she realizes that Ogi replaced his broken blade with flames formed from cursed energy. As Maki falls, Ogi sheds a tear and declares that he never became Clanehead because his children are worthless. He then drags the bleeding bodies of both twin daughters down a corridor, leaving a trail of blood behind as he coldly explains his victory. Ogi states that Maki lost because she believes she had broken his blade and moved in too close. That mistake, he claims, proves she is inadequate. He insists that he is not merely a swordsman but a sorcerer, and that she judged him by the standards of someone inferior. According to Ogi, it is absurd for someone worthless to evaluate him that way. He repeats that Maki and Mai are the reason he was denied the position of clan head, not because of Naobito's cursed technique, which he dismisses as historically insignificant. Ogi claims the only way he was inferior to Naobito was in the quality of his children. Dragging them onward, Ogi lectures that children should never hold their parents back. Mai weakly responds, asking if he does not understand that holding each other back is considered a virtue in their country. Ignoring her, Ogi throws both sisters down a flight of stairs into a large, unmarked chamber. He explains that this room is used for training and discipline, housing countless grade 2 and lower cursed spirits. For now, the curses remain at bay out of fear of him, but soon they will emerge and devour the twins. Ogi mocks Maki further, claiming her heavenly restriction is nothing special compared to sorcerers who constantly reinforce their bodies with cursed energy. Turning his back on them, Ogi delivers his final words, calling his daughters nothing more than stains on his life, and leaves them behind to die. Before the cursed spirits can move in, Mai manages to sit up and gently places Maki's head in her lap. She checks for a heartbeat and is shocked to find that Maki is still alive. Calling her twin unbelievably tough, Mai accepts that this outcome was inevitable and prepares herself to do what must be done. Mai opens Maki's mouth, mutters that this situation is unbearable, and breathes new life into her sister. With that breath, Maki is given new life and awakens in a dreamlike space resembling a quiet beach, as though she has been pulled back from drowning. Mai lies beside her and calmly explains that Maki likely already understands her cursed technique. She cannot create anything large or complex, and given her fatal injuries, using it one final time will kill her. Mai rises from the sand and begins walking into the ocean, saying goodbye and wishing Maki good luck. Confused and panicked, Maki gets up and chases after her, begging her not to leave. Mai then explains the truth she has long known. Twins are considered a bad omen among sorcerers because cursed techniques treat identical twins as a single individual. To gain something, something must be sacrificed, not merely through binding vows, but as a fundamental rule of power. Because Mai never wanted to grow stronger, her presence prevented Maki from fully developing. With one twin lacking a cursed technique and the other possessing one, their existence locked both of them in place. As long as Mai lived, Maki could never reach her true potential. Maki says she understands, hoping that will make Mai stop. Desperate not to lose her sister, she runs into the water after her, pleading once more for her to come back. Mai finally turns and extends her hand, telling Maki to keep only one thing and throw everything else away. She explains that she will take all of their shared cursed energy with her as she dies. In exchange, she asks Maki to promise her one thing: to destroy everything. Mai places a small reed into Maki's hand. For a brief moment, Maki remembers their childhood, when they were simply happy little girls together. In the next instant, Maki awakens back in reality and realizes the reed has become the handle of a sword. She is holding her sister's lifeless body, which has collapsed in her arms. Overcome with grief and guilt, Maki cries out, begging Mai to wake up, as cursed spirits begin closing in from all directions. Elsewhere, Ogi suddenly senses something wrong and turns back. To his confusion, all the cursed spirits have been completely exorcised, their presences vanishing at once. Drawing his katana, Ogi looks toward the doorway and sees Maki standing in the shadows, gently laying Mei's body down. At that moment, Ogi is overwhelmed by a fear his mind has long tried to suppress, as Maki reminds him of Entire Zenin, the only other warrior born without cursed energy. Panicked, Ogi activates his innate technique, blazing courage, surrounding himself with flames and threatening to burn Maki to death. However, before he can even react, Maki effortlessly kills him with a single invisible slash while walking past him. After his body falls, Maki pauses to remember Mai's final gift and the peaceful image of birds flying over the beach. Determined to honor her sister's promise, she grips the cursed tool and resolves to move forward. Soon after, the alarm bell rings across the Zenin clan estate. Junichi and Naoya Zenin learn from Ranta that Maki has killed Ogi, shocking them both. The Kukuru unit is dispatched to capture her. Their captain, Nobuaki Zenin, orders them to act quickly, stating that while Maki might be capable of killing Ogi under certain circumstances, they must restrain her so he can personally finish her off. The Kukuru unit consists of Zenin men without cursed techniques, trained harshly in martial arts, and Maki herself was once part of this unit before joining Jujutsu High. The Kukuru unit eventually finds Maki alone in the training room and surrounds her with over 20 men. Armed with dragon bone and the split-soul katana left behind by Mai, Maki reflects on her sister, questioning whether abandoning sorcery together would have been the right choice. As she apologizes to Mai, the Kukuru unit attacks, triggering Maki's memory of Mai's final request to destroy everything. With renewed resolve, Maki opens her eyes and launches a brutal counterattack. She effortlessly disarms, mutilates, and kills her attackers one by one. Despite their numbers and training, the Kukuru unit is completely overwhelmed, and Maki massacres them with ruthless efficiency, proving they are no match for her awakened strength. Nobuaki arrives expecting her to be dead, only to find his entire unit slaughtered by the same Maki who once served under them. As Maki senses a powerful surge of cursed energy, she realizes Chojuro Zenin is nearby. Chojuro attacks using his cursed technique, massive stone hands that attempt to crush her midair, but Maki breaks free without difficulty. Before Nobuaki and Chojuro can react, she kills them instantly by crushing their throats. Ranta intervenes by using his paralysis technique to immobilize Maki and requests Junichi to finish her. However, Maki forcibly breaks free, causing severe backlash that destroys Ranta's eyes. Despite his injuries, Ranta warns Junichi that Maki has become just like Entire Zenin, someone capable of wiping out the entire clan if not stopped immediately. Junichi launches his cursed technique, summoning enormous cursed energy fists that rain down and devastate the area. Believing they have succeeded, Ranta collapses and dies from his injuries. Moments later, Maki emerges unharmed from the smoke, carrying Junichi's severed head. She shows no emotion as she throws it into a nearby pond. On the opposite side of a bridge, Naoya Zenin, the leader of the Hei, confronts Maki. Amused rather than afraid, he mocks her cruelty and questions whether she still possesses a human heart. Maki coldly responds that she does not, stating that her heart was taken from her. The narrative then shifts to Naoya's past. As a child, he was constantly praised and treated as a prodigy, with many believing he would one day inherit leadership of the Zenin clan after Naobito. Curious about rumors of a cursed energyless failure within the clan, Naoya sought out Entire Zenin, expecting to see someone pitiful. Instead, he was deeply shaken by Toji's cold, focused gaze, an encounter that left a lasting impression and foreshadowed the terrifying presence Maki has now become. Maki has reached a level of physical strength comparable to Toji's and has already wiped out most of the Zenin clan's elite fighters. During the climax of the battle, Maki confronts Naoya. He unleashes a barrage of extremely rapid strikes within a single second. Although Maki manages to block many of them and even attempts to count his movements, Naoya ultimately grabs her, trapping her within a frame created by his cursed technique. He then accelerates to extreme speeds and violently kicks her through multiple stone structures across the Zenin estate. Despite Maki's overwhelming power, Naoya remains convinced that she can never truly be Toji. Naoya reflects on what he believes is the true sin of weak people, their inability to recognize real strength. He believes Toji was misunderstood because of his lack of cursed energy and that only Satoru Gojo truly grasped his worth. Determined to prove himself, Naoya continuously builds momentum with his projection sorcery, overwhelming Maki with relentless high-speed attacks. His goal is to stand alongside Toji and Satoru as one of the strongest, not to be surpassed by Maki. Although Maki's enhanced body grants her immense power, she begins to suffer under Naoya's assault and admits that the fight is turning against her. Projection sorcery has limits. It cannot violate physical laws outright, and there is a cap on initial acceleration. But sustained use allows speed to keep increasing. Unlike his earlier fight with Choso, Naoya refuses to slow down, pushing himself beyond subsonic speed and into supersonic territory, intending to finish Maki with maximum velocity. Maki understands her disadvantage. Although she gained a body free from cursed energy in exchange for Mai's life, she is already injured and exhausted from previous battles. Knowing she cannot win a prolonged fight, she chooses to confront Naoya head-on, adopting the Shiranui Gata stance and preparing to absorb his supersonic charge, even at the cost of serious injury. Anticipating her defense, Naoya instead strikes her with his palm. Under projection sorcery, anyone touched must move at 24 frames per second, or become frozen for 1 second. Certain that Maki is immobilized, Naoya prepares the final blow. However, to his shock, Maki is not frozen. Her new body allows her to perceive Naoya's frame-based movements clearly, and she successfully matches the required 24 frames per second, proving that she can keep up with and counter his technique. After realizing Naoya's attack pattern, Maki pivots and launches a decisive counterattack. She steps directly into his trajectory and drives her fist forward as Naoya rushes toward it at full speed. Naoya attempts to dismiss her as an imposter, but before he can finish speaking, Maki slams his face into the ground with overwhelming force, decisively ending the fight. Mocking him in return, she asks her bloodied and defeated cousin to finish what he was about to say. Maki then finds her mother hiding in the kitchen, who reacts in a panicked and unstable manner. Her mother urgently tells Maki to stay away, while Maki demands to know why she had been called back before entering the cursed warehouse earlier. Her mother, mentally shattered, cannot remember and only asks what Maki is talking about. Unsatisfied, Maki steps closer, prompting her mother to scream in terror, until blood suddenly splatters across the wall. By this point, the Zenin clan's fighting forces have been completely annihilated. The Hai and Kukuru unit lie dead throughout the estate. Naoya, barely alive and heavily injured, stumbles through the compound, bleeding profusely until he collapses through a doorway. He mocks Maki for not killing him outright. At that moment, Maki and Mai's mother appears behind him, her throat already slit and her life fading, yet still holding a kitchen knife. Unable to use cursed energy due to his injuries, Naoya is helpless as she stabs him in the back and collapses on top of him. As they both die, Naoya insults her one last time, calling her trash, but meets a pathetic and powerless end. In her final moments, Maki and Mai's mother confesses that she was glad she gave birth to the twins. Maki leaves the Zenin estate carrying Mai's body. Momo Nishimiya arrives shortly after, having followed Mai out of concern after she left Kyoto against Momo's advice. Realizing that Mai's death is the result, Momo breaks down in grief and regret. Maki entrusts Mai's body to Momo. When asked what she plans to do next, Maki gives no answer and silently walks away, holding Mai's blade. According to official records, Zenin clan members who were absent during the massacre later died violent deaths. 6 members of the Heiai, 9 of the Akashi, and 21 of the Kukuru unit. No cursed spirits were involved, but traces of cursed energy consistent with a cursed tool were found in their wounds. Days later, the Gojo and Kamo clans proposed removing the Zenin clan from the Big Three families, though Jujutsu headquarters has yet to issue a final verdict.